Chapter 26. Creeping. When I entered my bedroom, Nan was busy arranging some fresh orange carnations in a vase on my work table. "Hi, Nan," I said, eyeing the flowers with suspicion. "Why are you putting flowers in my room?" Nan smiled. "Just to brighten up the place. I hadn't seen her for 2 days, not since our talk at the hospital, and I'd really missed her. But as I looked at her, I couldn't help feeling worried, because she looked frail and very tired. "You all right, Nan?" I asked. Of course, she grinned at me, and suddenly she didn't look fragile at all. Just looking at her, I knew she was okay. Nan's whole personality shone from her eyes. She was a whirlwind that nothing and nobody could stop. "And what about you?" asked Nan. "Have you changed your mind about the operation yet?" "No, and I'm not going to either," I said. Nan sniffed. "If you say so." "You're not going to start lecturing me, are you?" I asked anxiously. Mum and Dad had gone on about nothing else since I'd let them know my decision until I was sick up to the eyebrows of hearing about it. I didn't want the operation, and as far as I was concerned, that was that. I wouldn't dream of wasting my breath, Nan told me loftily. "Besides, you'll change your mind." "What do you mean?" "I mean, you'll see sense and you'll change your mind. Just don't wait too long." "I'm not going to change my mind." I admit I was peeved. "What makes you think that?" "Now, if I told you that, you'd know as much as I do." Nan winked at me, and it was such a sly wink, I couldn't help laughing. "Cam, is there anything I can get you? How about some chicken and a nice salad?" "No thanks, Nan, I'm not hungry," I said. "Besides, I think Mum's downstairs cooking dinner for us all already. In that case, I think I'll go for a lie down before dinner and catch 40 winks. Although at my age, I need more like 80. Nan removed some imaginary dust from the bedside table, headed for the bedroom door. She stopped before she got there, though, and gave me a very strange look. "Cam, you do know you're my favourite grandson, don't you?" she told me. "So far, I'm your only grandson," I pointed out. "True," Nan chuckled, "but you do know that I love you." "Yes," I said uncomfortably. "And why are we getting mushy all of a sudden?" "A little mush now and then never hurt anyone," she told me. "Now let me give you a kiss." "Do I have to?" "Yes." Reluctantly, I bent my head so that Nan could kiss my cheek. Then she rubbed her fingers over my skin as if she was sanding a rough piece of wood. "You shaving yet?" she asked. "Nan!" "Only teasing, Cam. Your skin is as smooth as a baby's bottom, but not as wrinkle-free." "Nan, I thought you were going for a lie down." "I can take a hint," Nan smiled. "See you later, darling." "Bye, Nan." I held the bedroom door open for her. "Trying to tell me something?" "No, just go," I said. Nan and I smiled at each other before she headed for the spare bedroom. As I closed the door, I wondered for the first time what Nan did at her home in Bolton. Was she lonely? Did she have many friends? What did she do all day? Nan was never one to sit still, that was for sure. I'd have to ask her when she woke up. I could hear her now. Why the sudden interest you never asked before? I'm asking now, and I'll think about whether or not I'm going to tell you. Just playing that imaginary conversation in my head made me smile. I could talk and argue with Nan in a way that I couldn't with my parents. Not that Nan stood for any nonsense, she wouldn't go for that at all, but she didn't talk down to me, she didn't talk to me like a parent. "Cameron, could you come downstairs and help with dinner, please?" Mum yelled. I sighed. Help with dinner? My left foot. She and Dad just wanted another chance to try and persuade me to change my mind. Slowly I made my way downstairs. I paused at the kitchen door, took a deep breath and walked in. An hour later, Mum said, "I think we're about ready to eat now." I eyed Mum and Dad with suspicion. What was going on? They hadn't said a single word about Dr. Bryce or the operation or anything even remotely medical. I'd just spent the last half an hour washing every salad ingredient we had in the salad crisper and chopping, slicing and dicing. Tonight, for the first time, making the salad was totally down to me. Mum raised an eyebrow, but she didn't say a word when I dropped lumps of chunky peanut butter into the salad. I caught Dad miming sticking fingers down his throat, though when he thought I wasn't looking. "Have you put out all the cutlery on the table?" Dad asked. I nodded. "Fine," Mum smiled. "You can go and get your Nan now, if she's still asleep, and wake her up gently." What did she think I'd do, burst into Nan's bedroom with a marching band? I ran upstairs, but only made it 3/4 of the way up before I was out of puff and feeling a bit sick, and my heart was sledgehammering inside my body. I'd almost forgotten what that was like, getting out of puff just by going up the stairs. I'd become so used to not just running up them, but taking them two or three at a time with energy to spare. Once I began to get my breath back, I walked up the few remaining stairs, a deep frown cutting into my face. Was I really prepared to give it all up? The healthy, lively feeling that had taken me so little time to get used to. A crowd of images burned through my mind, images of me jumping and running and playing football. They were all worth holding on to, weren't they? Yes, there was a downside, pills and medicine and doctors and hospitals, and Julie and animal rights extremists. But the upside was life, a life worth something, a life worth living. And surely a life worth living was a life worth fighting for. I stopped on the landing, totally confused. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted the operation and yet I didn't. I wanted to fight on and yet I was so tired. What was the matter with me? I wasn't usually so dithery. Was Nan right? Was I changing my mind? Nan? I called softly into the darkened room as I opened the door. Nan, dinner's ready. I peeked into the room, which was dark except for the low wattage light coming from the bedside lamp. Nan lay on her side on top of the duvet and facing the door. Her eyes were closed. She was fast asleep. I tiptoed into the room, careful not to make any sudden noises and frighten the life out of her. Up close she looked so peaceful. She actually had a slight smile on her face. She was obviously having a good dream. Nan, I placed my hand on her upper arm, nudged her gently. Dinner's ready, and I made an extra special salad to go with it. I could just see Nan's face when she found out exactly what my special ingredient was. Nan, I nudged her a bit harder. Her arm, which was resting on her side, slipped backwards off her body, and her hand flopped into the duvet, palm up. I stared at her. Nan? I shook her a bit harder. Her whole body tipped over so that she was lying on her back. Her eyes were still closed. A feeling raced through me as if every drop of blood in my body had turned to Arctic water. I stepped back, unable to take my eyes off Nan, not even able to blink. Do something. I had to do something. Mum! Dad! A scream ripped from me, and once I'd started I couldn't stop. Dad came bounding up the stairs, closely followed by Mum. What is it? What's the matter? Dad said anxiously. I pointed at Nan. Mum took one look at her before rushing over. Dad ushered me out of the room. My feet barely touched the carpet in my haste to get out of there, because I was frightened. More frightened than I'd ever been before in my life. Even more frightened than I was before my heart transplant operation. As soon as I was on the landing, Dad went back into the spare bedroom, shutting the door behind him. I put my hands against the closed door, praying desperately that I was wrong, that Nan was just asleep. Please let her be alright. Please, please. My hands fell to my sides as I waited for something, anything to happen. What was going on in there? What were Mum and Dad doing? I turned and walked towards my room, but I didn't make it. Halfway there I leaned against the wall before sliding down it. My face was soaking wet with silent tears, and all at once I couldn't keep silent anymore. I howled like some kind of wounded animal, and curled up in a ball on the floor, where I cried and cried and cried. I didn't even know Dad had left Nan's room until he sat on the carpet next to me and held me tight. Is Nan okay? I gulped out, but I already knew the answer. Cameron, she's dead, Dad said as gently as he could, but she died peacefully in her sleep. I cried, and I cried some more, while Dad rocked me without a word.